I'm going to start today with a question. Not a question for your mind, but for something deeper. Have you ever had the experience, even just for a moment, of feeling completely at one with everything around you? Where the boundary between you and the world just seemed to dissolve. Where there was no separation, just presence, just connection, just being. Most of us have touched that at some point, in nature, in meditation, in a moment of profound love or grief. And then, almost immediately, the feeling fades. And the familiar sense of being a separate self, a separate person navigating a separate life returns. But what if that feeling of separation isn't the truth of who you are? What if it's something more like forgetting? And what if, hidden inside of your own DNA, is the blueprint for something so extraordinary, so connected, so whole, that humanity simply wasn't ready to hold it until now? That's what we're exploring today. Welcome back to Self-Love First. My name is Alicia, and thank you for tuning in. I'm so glad you're here. Please take a second to hit the like button. It's a free and easy way to support my channel, and it helps tremendously. For decades, scientists mapped the human genome and discovered something really puzzling. The vast majority of our DNA, somewhere around 98%, didn't seem to code for proteins. It didn't seem to do anything that they could measure. And so it kind of became labeled as junk DNA, a kind of biological leftover, evolutionary debris with no apparent purpose. Now, science has begun to revise that view. We know that these regions play roles in regulating gene expression, in shaping how our biology responds to environment and experience. The picture is getting more complex, more interesting. But from a spiritual and metaphysical perspective, teachers, channels, and wisdom traditions have held a very different view for a long time. They never called it junk. They called it dormant, sleeping, waiting. And they said that it was waiting for exactly this moment in human history. The teaching of the 12-strand DNA comes from multiple streams of esoteric and channeled wisdom. The Pleiadian teachings, channeled through multiple figures, speak about humanity as a species whose divine blueprint was intentionally compressed, not destroyed, not lost, compressed, placed in a kind of a sacred sleep so that we could have the full experience of density, of duality, of what it feels like to believe that we're small, separate, and alone. The Cryon teachings, channeled by Lee Carroll, describe something similar. A divine template within human biology that's being activated in this era of quantum shift. Not through technology, not through surgery, through consciousness itself, through the rising of our personal and collective vibration. Ancient mystery schools, Egyptian, Mayan, all carried the teaching that human beings were far more than what we appeared to be, that we were, in some sense, gods with amnesia. The 12 strands in these traditions don't refer to the 12 physical helices that are found under a microscope. They refer to layers of consciousness encoded within our biology. Our current 2-strand double helix carries what we need for physical survival and basic function. But the remaining 10 strands, the dormant layers, are said to hold our capacity for fully multidimensional awareness, for communication beyond language, for healing that defies all current medical understanding, for the direct, lived experience of unity with all of life. And what fascinates me about this teaching is this. It says that the dormancy was by design. It was kind of like a divine mercy, a choice made at the level of the soul to forget who we were so completely that we could have this experience of remembering, so that the awakening could be real, felt, chosen, embodied, because you can only truly appreciate light once you've known the darkness. You can only truly understand oneness if you've lived inside that weight of separation. So why now? Why are so many people all over the world, in different cultures, different traditions, different backgrounds, why are they all waking up seemingly at the same time, feeling called towards something that they can't quite name yet, sensing that reality is somehow thinner, more permeable, more alive than it used to be? The esoteric teachings point to several converging forces, solar cycles, and we've spoken about solar activity on this channel before, carry energetic information that actually interacts with human consciousness and our biology in ways that science is only beginning to even explore. Many traditions describe us as entering a new great cycle, a cosmic season of light that began turning decades ago. And now it's reaching like a peak in frequency. There's also the idea of critical mass in consciousness. When enough individuals within a system shift their vibration, their inner orientation, the field itself begins to change. What was once a fringe experience, feeling connected to all life, sensing unity beneath the surface of things, is becoming more accessible, more widely reported, more culturally visible. And there's something that I think is deeply personal to each of us, the inner call. The sense that something in you is stretching, that the old story of who you are, limited, separate, and alone, is no longer fitting quite right. There is more, that you are more, In the language of the 12-strand DNA, these are the strands beginning to stir, to resonate, to remember their original song. It's breathtaking to consider that this isn't happening to just a few spiritually advanced individuals. It's happening across our entire species. A collective remembering, a return. So let's stay with the illusion of separation just for a moment, because I think it's important to name what it actually feels like, so we can recognize its disillusion once it starts. The illusion of separation lives inside the body as kind of a low-level tension, a subtle holding, a sense of needing to protect yourself, your identity, your resources, your sense of rightness from a world that feels fundamentally like the other, fundamentally outside of you. It's the feeling behind loneliness, behind competition, behind the fear that there isn't enough love, enough worth, enough belonging, and enough abundance and prosperity to go around. And when that begins to dissolve, it doesn't usually arrive as like a thunderbolt. It arrives like a thaw, a softening in your chest, a moment in which you can look at another person, a stranger, even someone who has hurt you, and you feel, just for a second, what it's like to be them, their fear, their longing, their search for the same love that you're searching for. Or you're outside, early morning, and you feel the ground beneath your feet. And something in you recognizes, not a scenery, a self, as kin. These moments are not accidents. They're not poetic metaphors. They are your nervous system briefly releasing its grip on the story of separation and just letting underlying reality, the oneness that was always there, to come forward. Heart coherence research suggests that when we enter states of deep compassion, appreciation, and love, we become measurably more synchronized with the fields all around us. Our hearts begin to beat in rhythm with other hearts nearby. The boundary between self and the world becomes quite literally more permeable. This is what the 12-strand teachings describe as the remembering made physical. Not just a belief that you hold in your mind, but something that your biology actually participates in. So, knowing all of this, knowing that the remembering is already underway, that the blueprint is already within you, you might be wondering, is there anything I can do to actively support this timeline? To meet my awakening halfway? And the answer is yes. Not through force or striving. The strands don't respond to urgency. They respond to resonance, to coherence, to the quality of the energy that you bring into your own field. There's a few practices that many traditions, and my own experience suggest, can create the inner conditions for this awakening to deepen. conscious, connected breathing. The breath is one of the most direct bridges between the conscious and the unconscious mind, between the physical body and the more subtle layers of our being. Simple practice. Sit quietly. Place one hand on your heart and the other one on your belly, and begin breathing in a slow, continuous circle. No pause between the inhale and exhale. And as you breathe, silently set the intention. I'm open to remembering who I truly am. Even 5 minutes of this can begin to soften your nervous system's grip on the story of separation and create space for something deeper to surface. Try the Golden Helix meditation. Close your eyes and bring your awareness into the center of your body, your spine, the column of your being. Visualize a luminous double helix of light running all along your spine, glowing softly. Now imagine that helix beginning to expand, new threads of light spiraling outward from it, like a flower opening. Each thread carries a quality: compassion, clarity, unity, wholeness. Breathe those qualities in. You don't need to understand everything intellectually. You're simply signaling to your biology through the language of image and intention that you're ready, that you're willing, that you want to remember. There is the coherence intention practice as well. Research from the HeartMath Institute tells us that states of genuine gratitude and compassion create measurable coherence in the heart's electromagnetic field, and that this coherence ripples outward, affecting the fields of people around us. So, one of the most powerful things that you can do each day is deceptively simple. Spend 2 or 3 minutes with your hand on your heart, calling to mind something or someone that you feel genuine love for. Not performed love, but real love. Let it fill your chest. And then from that place, set an intention. May this coherence, this love, support the awakening of my full divine blueprint and ripple it out to the field that we're all sharing. You're not just doing this for yourself. You never were. These aren't complicated practices. They don't require equipment or expertise. What they require is presence, consistency, and a willingness to treat your own inner life as sacred ground, because that's exactly what it is. So, if oneness is our true nature, if the blueprint is already within us, already encoded, already longing to be lived, what gets in the way? In my work, I see it time and again. It's not a lack of spiritual knowledge. It's not a lack of intention. It's the unconscious material, the old programming, the inherited beliefs, the survival patterns written into your nervous system long before we ever even had words for them. These keep recreating the experience of separation even when the conscious mind has chosen something different. The beliefs that say that you're fundamentally alone, that the world isn't safe, that you're not enough, that you have to earn your belonging. These aren't just thoughts. They're stored in the body. They shape what we attract, what we allow ourselves to experience, what we unconsciously push away, and clearing them, truly clearing them, not just understanding them, is where the MAP method comes in. It works directly at the level of the unconscious, using the brain's own window of reconsolidation to neutralize these patterns without requiring you to relive them or cognitively process them. It's one of the most gentle and effective tools I know for creating that inner spaciousness that allows the experience of openness to actually land and stay. If you're curious about that, the link is below. But for now, I just want you to know that the path is not about adding more. It's about dissolving what was never truly you. I want to offer you something to carry into your day. Not a task, not a technique, just an invitation. At some point today, maybe outside, maybe with another person, maybe in a moment of stillness, let yourself consider the possibility that the separation you feel is just a story that served you deeply, a story that gave you the full, rich, sometimes painful experience of being a human being. And underneath that story, woven into the very architecture of your own biology, encoded in every layer of your being, is a blueprint for something far more vast, far more connected, far more luminous than you may have ever dared to believe. You're not on a journey towards oneness. You are oneness, remembering itself, one strand at a time. I have links in the description to my website where you can find a bunch of free resources, including my Dream Life Manifestation Journal, to download and have fun with it, as well as links to schedule a one-on-one map session with me, or to my online course called the Embodied Manifestation Toolkit course. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If this resonated with you, please share it. Share it with someone who might need it, because that's how the remembering is spreading. Like and subscribe if you enjoy content like this for a new video each week. I will see you next Wednesday at around 2 p.m. Eastern. As always, until next time, self-love first, always. Take beautiful care of yourself and have an act of kindness towards someone else today. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Take care. Bye.